What's up everybody, and welcome to today's Tableau walkthrough. In this video today, we're going to talk about dual axis charts, and in this video today, we're going to create a dual axis line chart. When you talk about dual axes, we're typically talking about two independent axes that are layered on top of each other. These are useful to compare multiple measures. Dual axes are useful to compare multiple measures or analyze multiple measures with different scales. And specifically today, we're going to look at something that you might use in a business sense. But first, you need to make sure you have your Tableau desktop open, and then you need to connect to your data source. We're going to use the sample superstore data source. So if you navigate to the left under your connection pane, you'll see the sample superstore data source, which is right under the save data sources. If you double click that, you'll now see a worksheet window open that looks like this. This is going to be your blank worksheet where you have your canvas. And then you need to figure out what you're going to use for your line charts. One thing that I like to do is go to the show me pane, which is right over to our right. Click the show me pane, then see what we need for a line chart. So one thing we need for a line chart is one date and then one measure. And for a dual line chart, we need one date and two measures. And something that we're going to do today is, given that we have this sample superstore data set, we want to compare profit versus sales over time. To do this, we need to first drag in our date column. So we're going to drag in order date, which is under our data pane. We're going to drag that into our columns shelf. Then now, well, after this actually, you see that we have year order date. And let's say we want to, which is discrete, let's say we want to make this continuous. If we hit this drop down arrow right here, right next to the year pill, we're going to click that. This would be continuous. And let's say we want to see it by quarter. I feel like that would give us enough data points to work with. This looks a little weird, looks a little odd, but that's okay. But we also see that it changed to green, which now means that it's a measure. The next thing that we need to do is add our sales or our profit. We can choose either one we want to see first. This particular case, I'm going to choose profit first. I care about the money. Let's look at the profit. Now we drag profit into the row shelf. Let me do that again just for those that may have missed it. Let's drag profit from the data pane into the rows shelf. Now we see the profit. The next thing we're going to do is drag sales into the rows shelf. You'll see that we have two different line charts on the same least graph as far as dimension, x dimension wise, but the y's, we want them to be on the same chart. And to do this, we can right click either one of these. So if we right click and then we scroll down to dual axis, this will give us access to a dual axis line chart. So if we click dual axis, we now see that we have profit and sales on the same line chart with similar axes. So we have profit on the left, sales on the right. And you can see based on this, we have profit in blue and sales in the orange. But let's say we want to align these two axes so that they have this same scale. In a sense that we're talking about scale, we're talking about the y-axis. So this is from profit from 0 to 40K. The sum of a profit is from 0 to 40K. and the sales are 0 to 300K. But let's say we want them both to be on the 0 to 300K scale, because that's going to be our maximum value. To do this, we can right click on the secondary axis. So we're going to right click on the profit axis, and then we're going to hit synchronize the axis. Now you can see that there's a difference when we look at profit and sales, and we can compare these particular values. We can see how much of a gap is between these particular values by looking at these particular values and the range between profit and the sales. Of course, sales is a lot more, but this gives us an overview and be able to compare the difference between the sales and the profit. Now let's name this chart. We're going to name it dual axis. So I'm going to double click sheet 1 down here, call it dual axis line chart. This is just a placeholder. This is typically, you don't really name your charts after the visualization. You typically want to give it more description. An example could be sales and profit over time, but this is just a placeholder so that you know what you've created and you can duplicate and reproduce these results. And speak about reproducibility, we are actually done with the dual axis line chart. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.